Throughout my entire 23-year-long life, I've been told the ending of Inception doesn't matter. Well, the movie came out in 2010. I was 10 at that time, but that doesn't matter. Basically, my entire life, I've been bombarded with this ideology that Cobb is alive with his kids. He can watch his kids grow up, and he can be the father he's always wanted to be. Why doesn't matter if he's in a dream or not? Inception is a 2010 film directed by Christopher Nolan, starring Leonardo DiCaprio and a bunch of other people. It was revolutionary for filmmaking at the time, captivating storytelling, and all at the heart of it, just a man trying to get back to his kids. The whole movie's built up upon the separations between the dream world and the real world. You shouldn't get too comfortable in the dream world because it's not reality. That's why all of the main characters have totems, a little item based on its own properties that only the owner of the item knows, to keep the user calibrated between a dream or reality. Dom Cobb, the main character, has a spinning top he uses, but we'll get back to that. In the movie, Cobb had tricked and trapped his wife into this mental dream prison, with her not being able to discern between what's real and what's fake, eventually leading to her death. The government thinks he killed his wife, so Cobb flees the country, but accepts a job for the opportunity to get back to his kids without the umbrella of the law above him. They complete the mission through a series of close calls, and Cobb is able to come home to his kids. Cobb spins the top and walks away to greet his kids that he hasn't seen in years. We as the audience have a catharsis intake as soon as we see the family embrace one another again. The camera focuses on the top. Spinning, spinning, spinning. Knowing the implications of the totem's end result, as we think we're about to see the top fall over or not. Cobb's spinning top, Ariadne's chess piece, Arthur's poker chips, every single totem from every single line of dialogue, every set design piece, every line of the script, every single production assistant and location scout from beginning to end, every single last thing about this movie is about how it matters to be alive in the real world. If Cobb's top keeps spinning forever, he's dreaming, but if it topples over, obeying reality's law of gravity, he's awake. And once the movie cuts to black without seeing the end result, the audience is left wondering where Cobb is. Still in a dream or back in reality? I am shocked on how many people and news outlets act like they watch this movie and afterwards just say, the ending doesn't matter. He's with his kids and that's what matters. The people who say that are insane, absolutely insane. The entire movie is about how it matters that you are alive, engaged in the real world, and not off in some dreamscape trying to grasp onto a lie you're telling yourself. His kids being alive is one thing, but his kids being real, that's what matters. There's a scene at about the halfway mark where the team meets Yusuf and tests out his formula for dream sedation. They see a bunch of people all feeding off the same dreamscape. The scene is played out almost one that would be in a thriller movie.
They come here every day to sleep.
No. They come to be woken up. The dream has become the reality.
Is genuinely terrifying. Having nothing be real, having nothing be tangible, having nothing to legitimately latch onto in the real world is terrifying. Next line, the old man says,
Who are you to say otherwise?
Is huge for the themes of this movie. Why should we even care about other people losing themselves to fantasy? Why does it even matter when we lose ourselves to fantasy? Why are real things so important? Why are real emotions so important? Why are real feelings so important? Why is reality so important? I may not have all the answers to these questions because I'm pretty sure even trying to answer them would send me to an existential crisis. But what I can tell you is that the movie tells you over and over and over again that reality is important and not losing yourself to a fantasy because it can be detrimental to you and those around you. Your life matters. Your real life matters. That's why the ending of Inception is important. It's not that just he's with his kids, but it's the fact that he's with his real kids. Look, I know the cast and crew have said numerous things about the ending of Inception since the movie's release. Christopher Nolan has said some things that kind of make sense, and Michael Caine has flat out said that if he's in the scene, it's reality, and a couple more things, but these instances are all ways people are trying to understand a complicated movie, and I get it. but I'm not exactly sure where I stand on Nolan and Kane saying things outside the movie. I think the movie should stand on its own. And if you have to start explaining things to the audience about your movie, what does that say about your movie? I will say that they made the movie, so they have every right to talk about it however they please. But I'm fairly certain that the movie stands on its own, telling a compelling narrative with strong themes about reality, and the movie leaves you with a lot to think about afterwards. Having things matter to you in a false reality is the path we're heading down in America. I don't want this to sound cringy or melodramatic, but as social media and the internet become more and more of a necessity in everyday life, the more and more people become latched onto it. And the more and more people become latched onto it, the more and more people we lose to it. I have my own reservations about the actual movie. I hate how the entirety of Ariadne's character is solely made as the audience surrogate. This was Dom Cobb's story, and I think it should just stand on its own through his perspective only. Throughout the entire movie, we are being told and explained the rules of the film, and like I said, this movie can stand on its own without the need for anyone to explain things, but that's just me. I love this movie other than those massive glaring issues. It's an amazing sci-fi, dramatic, cinematic story with a lot of love at the heart of it. One of the best movies of all time and definitely up there in Nolan's filmography. Thank you guys for allowing me to talk about Christopher Nolan. I'm really excited for these thoughts to get out there. It's going to be cool, hopefully, to see the reaction to this opinion. I want to hear what you guys have to say. I appreciate you guys clicking on my video, and I'll see you guys in the next video or podcast episode.